I think you're a filthy liar.
I'm a filthy liar.
Yeah. Guys, I messed up.
Oh, yeah. The couchy.
I did though.
Hey guys, work in progress team here, back for another blueprint. Today we're going to be playing 2 truths and 1 lie.
So, for 2 truths and a lie, if you can guess the correct lie, you get a point. For every lie you tell that doesn't get caught, you get a point for every person you trick. Whoever gets the most points at the end wins, and I'll be giving them 20 of my own dollars.
So, are you ready to begin?
Let's do it.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it. All right, my first statement is my favorite event in gymnastics was the uneven bars. My second statement is I once missed the exit ramp on a ski lift and jumped off and broke my arm. And my third statement is I went on a road trip where I visited Mount Rushmore and Yellowstone National Park when I was in middle school.
Where was this ski lift?
Snoqualmie Pass.
How far was the fall?
So like 5 feet off the ground.
5 feet off the ground and you broke your arm?
So like the ski lift had just taken off then?
No, it had turned around, so the exit ramp was there, and then my group was waiting for me, and I just couldn't get off, so I just jumped off on the other side and broke my arm.
Which grade? Which
This
grade?
is in 3rd grade.
3rd grade?
No, Becky in 3rd grade is like 2 feet tall.
Yeah, so you could definitely happen.
I was with my whole school. We went up on ski trips.
She's from a bougie area, I believe that. I believe that.
The uneven bars.
Do gymnastics.
I did gymnastics for 10 years.
And that was your least favorite uneven bars?
I said my favorite event in
Oh, your
gymnastics was
favorite.
the uneven bars.
Why was it your favorite?
I really enjoyed swinging and jumping from bar to bar, and just like the dismount, the stick,
What other events did you do?
the vault, the floor exercise, and the balance beam.
Because
But
I think that could be, it's like, she could have enough information to back up all the gymnastics stuff, but
Yeah,
it
she
could be a
did
different
gymnastics.
event. No, but
Yeah,
I see
the
what
lie
you're
could be
saying.
that it could be a
Yeah.
different event. That's a cheap shot.
No, but like,
I feel like uneven bars
But
is
if
different
it
from
went to the
like
point-
favorite.
It's true.
Well, we haven't asked about the road trip.
That is true.
So tell us the details of the road trip again. Where did you go?
It was spring break in 7th grade, and we went to Mount Rushmore in South Dakota, and then we spent like 3 or 4 days in Yellowstone.
Who drove you?
My dad.
How long was the trip, you know?
It was a week long.
Week long?
It was spring break.
I don't even know how long it takes to get to Mount Rushmore in Yellowstone.
I
Everyone have
Ready?
their decision.
Yeah.
Becky, count us down if you please.
3, 2, 1.
Skiing.
Scott,
Ski lift.
Ski lift.
You said 3.
I said 3.
It
don't
was
know
the
what
ski
you
lift.
Go!
I did jump off. I didn't break anything, and it was in kindergarten too. No.
Oh, let's go.
See, I was like, you probably jumped off, you just didn't.
I knew that.
You wanted to. You're like,
All right, Hannah, give us your 2 truths and a lie.
Okay, so I was in Girl Scouts. One time I was dared to eat an entire maple bar in 15 seconds. I won. I got the $1. And in middle school, the roof started to sink in of the school, and we all had to leave early.
said the roof was sinking in.
Yeah.
That sounds like something from like Clue. All right. I think we need to address the roof.
The roof.
What happened?
Where did you go
What
to
grade
school?
were you? What grade were you in?
I was in 5th grade. And the school I went to, the school was built in the 70s, and it had one of those giant, like, I think it was like the whole AC unit on top of the roof was like starting to push on the roof, and it was kind of starting to sink. And the school was like, okay, we got to take care of this. So they sent us all home early. They had equipment that had already started to show up there.
So that's what happened with the roof, was that the water damage just like
I would,
eventually?
I would assume so. They never gave us like a straight answer.
What was your favorite rank?
I guess being a brownie, I don't know, they were all pretty much the same to me.
All right, so maple bar.
Maple bar.
Why'd you eat a maple bar?
Someone had brought in donuts for class, and we had extra donuts, and someone was like, "How fast can you eat a maple bar?" And I was like, "I don't know how fast. They were like, I'll give you $1 for this maple bar," and I was like, "Okay, I'll eat it." I think originally I had said 30, and they're like, no, 30 is not, like, that's too much time. I was like, okay. And they were like 15 seconds, and I was like, you better give me that $1 if I do it, and I did it.
See, what I'm curious about is that Hannah has siblings, so they could potentially know some information about other things.
Do you want to phone a friend?
Are you
Well, okay, I was curious about the girl because I'm in I was in Girl Scouts, and so it was like, it's like, were you in Girl Scouts or was a sibling of yours in Girl Scouts, and you just know all that information because your sibling was in Girl Scouts? Did you do any like summer camps,
I did
like
one.
day camps?
There was one day camp that I went to with a friend of mine.
What'd you
Do you remember what
do?
it was called?
I don't.
Okay.
See, I can't tell if she has a bad poker face or if she's doing this on purpose.
Because I'm just curious because I was like,
I have everything I need to know.
It was at like some camp in the woods, kind of a wooded area.
I think the roof is true because she doesn't give. It's not. I don't think Vancouver's very preppy. That sounds reasonable.
3, 2, 1.
I picked Girl
I think
Scouts.
the Girl Scouts.
It was the roof. I think it's the roof.
Okay. The maple bar one was the lie.
Damn
Wait, who said maple
How
bar?
do you just like
No.
you said it?
Yeah.
It's because you said elementary school for the roof, and then you said middle school for the maple bar.
Yeah.
And I
Did
I
couldn't
say
decide
You
which
elementary
one
did,
it was.
but then
You
you said it
did.
was the same
Oh,
building.
that is true. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
couldn't
didn't
decide.
know.
Wait, I messed myself up.
It was one of those.
But then I was like, no, that could have been on purpose.
My first one is that I slid down a mountain. The second one is that I ran a marathon and watched all the Rocky and Creed movies in one day. And the third one was I broke my leg falling out of a treehouse at scout camp.
What was the marathon for?
So the marathon was for cross country. So what everyone did was we had a specific time that we would watch a movie, and we had that amount of time in between each movie to run a specific distance. So we started at 4 in the morning, we watched the first movie, ran 3 miles to the next house, watched the second movie, so on and so forth. And there were 7 movies, I believe, that we watched that entire day. And when I finished, it was 2 in the morning. I don't know, I'm nervous now.
He's lying!
I don't want people to find out my truth.
What mountain did you fall down? Why'd you fall down a mountain?
It was Mount St. Helens. So
Hey, this is true.
I watched the movie Cruella before, like the night before, and I only got 2 hours of sleep. I only had popcorn and yogurt, and I summited the mountain. It was, Mount St. Helens, so it was super steep, like 45-degree incline more. So we had these like snow spikes that we attached to our shoes, and we climbed up it. In order to get down, we had these trash bags that we brought with us, and so we put our bottom half in our trash bag, and then we slid down the mountain. Like that was it.
That seems like a good way to break
How
up a
far
rock.
up were you to slide down?
I don't remember how tall it is, but it was like 6,000, 4,000 feet. It was actually really awesome, but it hurt my butt a lot. That was pretty awesome. Oh, the treehouse.
When did you break your leg?
I think this was 8th grade. So I was at scout camp. We have a tradition where we make it's like the raven's nest or something. So it's just a bunch of sticks that we find around. We lash it up to a tree, make a little platform. I was napping up there. Someone woke me up and was like, hey, we gotta go to dinner. So then I push myself over, but because I'm sleepy, I over-rotate, and I land ankle first onto a bench down below. I think it was like 8 feet up. And at first I thought I just like bruised it or something. My scoutmaster, who's a surgeon in the Army, was like telling my dad behind my back, oh, that thing's broken. So we went to the emergency room. It took 6 hours to finally like get me in a cast. And I had the option to go back home. I decided to stick out scout camp And yeah, it was really fun.
I think you're a filthy liar.
I'm a filthy liar.
Okay, because I'm stuck on the mountain thing. No one slides down a mountain in a garbage
Yeah.
bag.
It took 4 hours to get up, 1 hour to get back down, or like 30 minutes or something.
What kind of trash bags did you use?
I don't know, just like industry grade ones. Like
Worn up with like the ground and
Yeah,
stuff.
was it all
like,
snow? Or?
there was snow and there was chunks of ice, which is where it like bruised my butt. Like when I would slide, I would try to avoid the patches of ice, but sometimes I wouldn't.
I'm just having a hard time picturing a trash bag
And
Going down
that's
sustaining 1,000.
It does.
Something
It's just
to
you
eat.
slide right out. You just slide on
I've
down.
tried that.
So it was, yeah.
Okay, the marathon thing I can kind of believe because I've heard
You
like
say you
one
were-
story out of him about cross country.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Dude,
I can see it
cross-country
happening.
fit
I don't know. It's either the mountain or the broken leg.
Yeah, that's what
The
I'm
broken
saying.
leg was like too subtle of a thing. It sounds like an Ethan activity though. That's the thing. I believe
How
Ethan
many
would
miles
do
did you
it.
run between movies?
It was like 3 or 4 between each one. And there's,
All of them?
mm-hmm.
Damn.
All right, 3, 2, 1. It was the breaking my leg one.
Let's go!
I actually broke my wrist.
Oh, it's one of those points that you like to tell.
Okay, who got it?
Yeah.
He gets one.
And I did actually participate in the race. I actually like did really well.
Right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, so I gotta set the scene a little bit. All 3 of these took place when I was in middle school.
Okay.
And this is where I start. There are existing YouTube videos where I ran around my neighborhood with a spoon, spoke gibberish in a cryptic video, played the Bean Boozled challenge.
So
is this your first one?
This is
No,
the
these are all 3. That was it.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Okay,
So hold
So
on.
there is an existing, these are all existing YouTube videos.
Except for
Yeah.
I was like, Dharma, I think you misunderstood what we were doing.
So, ran around my neighborhood with a spoon,
Spoon,
spoke gibberish in a cryptic video,
French.
and played the Bean Boozled challenge.
In any of these videos, were you like with friends or was this by yourself?
The neighborhood with the spoon and the gibberish, I was by myself, and then the Bean Boozled one was with my cousin Josie and my uncle when I was in California.
Why'd you run around with a spoon?
In my head, it was in preparation for 2 Truths and a Lie. And I was like, well, the whole setup was I've ran with a knife, I've ran with scissors, and I've ran with a spoon. I've ran with the knife, I've never ran with scissors, so I need some kind of reason to run with the spoon.
Tell us about the
Are you
gibberish.
speaking French?
No, I was just like whispering words like
What, in your room in a closet?
yeah,
In
like
public?
around my house, like in the middle of the night, because I just got bored and I wanted to make a video.
I don't know if I fully believe the bean one. There's 2. The other 2 were like very monotone,
Yeah.
but the third one had like.
An actual story.
Well, I can tell you more about the I mean,
Now
it's
she's trying to
less.
cover the tracks. Now she's trying to make the other ones look real.
Oh, 3, 2, 1.
Bean.
Yeah, it's the Bean Boozled.
Oh yeah.
No.
Ethan, what'd you pick? Spoon.
I
You
just
picked the
feel
spoon too.
That
I did that.
Yeah, it exists. I did do the Bean Boozled challenge with my cousin though, and my uncle did keep getting the chocolate ones, and we all kept getting the dog food ones. We just never recorded it. But she was in her like it was like the Musically era.
Okay, my first one is I started dirt bike riding when I was 7. The second one is I used to have purple hair. And the third one is I sprained my ankle in the basement of a frat.
Okay, so how did you sprain your ankle?
So I was dancing with my friends and I was drinking and dancing too hard and I fell off of one of the elevated platforms and just fell down, and my friends were thinking I was making a huge deal about it because I had been drinking and stuff, and I was like, no, my ankle is like, it's messed up. And so I had to get frat guys to carry me out of the basement. And then one of them drove me to the ER and got it checked out. So
Around when did you have the purple hair?
in 2020. So like
So
during
that era.
COVID. Yeah.
And when did you get into the dirt bike riding stuff?
So it was like around when I was 7, and my dad, he grew up dirt bike riding, and so he wanted his daughters to both start dirt bike riding, and I just started like when he started.
What kind of bike was it?
It was a tiny like Honda bike. It was red. It was like a 50 version, which is like the smallest you can go for a bike. So
How long did this sprain take to heal?
I think it took like 3 weeks ish.
Did you have a brace, crutches, anything?
I did have a brace, yeah, but I think I only had to wear that for like the first week. It was bad enough where I had to like have a brace for it and stuff. And I was on crutches for like, I think the first week. Because I remember I had to go to school and it was so bad having to walk up the hills with my crutches.
I don't know if I believe that. I know it sucks to be on crutches, but like I'm trying to think of like, okay, I sprained mine. I was on crutches for like a month and a half.
Okay.
My brother was in a boot for 4
A
months.
month and a half for just a sprained ankle?
It was kind of bad.
Okay, mine I guess wasn't that bad.
Because I know one of these is true for sure. One of these is
Yeah.
true for sure.
Yeah.
I know which one that is, but then it's a toss up between the other two. I'm committed to my vote. I'm locking
Wait,
it
actually.
in. No, piss off. You didn't want to help. You're on your own.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. 3, 1. It was the third one.
Let's go! I'm crazy.
Dirt bike
So
one.
I low-key, like, I messed up my knee. Like, so it's, like, was kind of true. But, like, I wasn't in a sprain. Like, I didn't have a...
All right, ready? My first one. So, the last person to hit on me was a dude. I skipped a whole semester of running start, and I helped a cow give birth.
When was the last time you went out? Like, are you talking about like the bars?
Yeah.
Going out? Where'd you go?
I went to V Hall, I went to the Coug, and then I went to the Emporium.
When did this happen? Getting hit?
Yeah, what was the
'Cause
story?
I remember
What
being
left?
there, so I'm trying to.
The getting hit on by a dude, that took place last semester, so this fall.
What was your reaction? What did you say back? Like, what did the guy say to you?
He asked me if I was gay, and I said, no, I'm not gay, I'm sorry. And then he's like, damn it, and then he walked off.
Tell me about this cow.
It was a cow, they go moo,
Sure.
Helped her give birth. What did you do? How does a cow give birth?
the same way a person does.
So describe it in detail.
It's really disgusting. That's
Describe
number
it.
one.
Describe it anyway.
What happened?
I was outside at a dairy because I was delivering some tractor parts for some guys who like called us pretty regularly. I was dropping off a clutch for one of their tractors, and as I was walking towards the machine shop in the back, there's a cow giving birth, and it was just one dude trying to get this cow to give birth. And so like in very sporadic Spanish, he's like, signaling me like, hey, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. I was like, what's the problem? What do you want me to do? I don't get paid for this. He's, just yelling at me. He's like, just shut up and like start pulling. So I grab onto like the hind legs of this calf that's like about a quarter of the way out. And he's like, here, put these gloves on. Cause like those things come out really slick. So it's just, and then we're both pulling on this calf to like make it come out onto this dirty ass floor in this field.
Sure.
So were your hands dirty with cow?
Yes.
Put on the gloves.
Yeah.
Couch.
My hands, I was wearing gloves, so my hands were not dirty.
That's not what it says. It's cow juice.
What'd you say?
It said cow cheek. Cow
Oh my god. The couchy.
How did you skip an entire semester?
Yeah, why did you not go?
One of my friends introduced me to the idea of skipping class, and I was like, this is kind of nice. I just never went.
Is it why you're behind so badly?
Okay, running start was just so I could finish like my high school classes. So no, that's not why I'm behind.
What did you do then?
Yeah, what you doing?
Skipping class. What are you doing? Like smoking? Like
No, I just went everywhere else. I went to we just went to go eat.
every single day?
Pretty much. It wasn't like we went out to eat. We just either like hang out somewhere like around town. But we couldn't go anywhere because it's like we're Mexicans. We have like big families, and they all live in the same town. So it's like.
What were your grades at the end of the semester?
I dropped from a 4.0 GPA to a 1.7. So I actually failed all the classes with straight zeros.
So
2016.
you just skipped
So you
half.
stopped?
Wait, you said this
What?
was a semester, right?
Yeah.
So you skipped half of your running start.
Yes. Why do you look so disappointed?
I know.
What's your
I
deal?
know one of them is true.
Yeah, I know it's true right now.
I do too.
Because I remember.
3, 2, 1.
It's the running start.
The cow one was wrong.
No!
The cow one was a lie. Like I went to go deliver the clutch or whatever, and like as I was walking by, I saw this cow like up against the fence. I just saw, and then that thing got up and started running at me.
Thanks so much for watching. As you can see, Ethan was our biggest loser for the night. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and also follow Cable 8 for more updates. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.